Have you ever wondered what goes inside a psychologist's mind?
Or what about, let's turn that around, right? What about some common questions that people ask psychologists?
Well, welcome to Sea Talks.
So hello guys, for today's podcast.
We have invited 6 psychology students to answer questions. Let's go. Is it on?
Yeah.
Hello everyone. I'm Marian Edmar Tangueco.
I am Najran Abubakar, and we are first psychology students in UCIIT. So first, let's get on with the first question.
For the first question, why did you take this program?
I personally am not pursuing to be a psychologist because that's like a lot of process. I only took BS psychology as my pre-law because I'm personally interested in it, and I think that it can be helpful for my for the profession that I want to pursue, which is like being a lawyer, being an attorney. Yeah, that's all for me. How about you?
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Mine is not as deep as hers. Because mine is definitely more of an accident and a form of curiosity. I chose psychology because I thought that, being a psych major, all I need to do is do an all-nighter in a coffee shop and just, romanticize life, that college aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's not actually that. I learned that the hard way because even in psychology, there is math.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know me, I really hate math. I once got a 75 grade in math, and I think that should tell a lot about me as a person. I chose psychology because it's probably the only course in MSUIIT that feels the closest to me. I definitely find the human experience to be somewhat of an enigma.
Mm-hmm.
Because humans themselves, in nature, some of them are mysterious, they're very enigmatic. I'd like to know the thought process between decision makings and everything, just that. I think that definitely boils down why I chose psychology.
Yeah. Basically, the main concession is that we like to dig deep and understand the complexity of humans and why they end up or lead to become who they are. I think that's what most psychology students would say. Not saying that we represent psychology students overall, but that's just for us.
Whatever she said, she's very articulate. She's more articulate than me. She's much more eloquent than me. She definitely should be the speaker, the main speaker.
But isn't psychology just common sense? It's not even real science, they say.
I think that people who say psychology is common sense don't lack common sense itself because they see their perception of psychology is really shallow insofar as they think that they understand the things that are discussed in psychology, but what's the truth is they're only able to like barely grasp the simplified ideas of the things that are discussed in psychology. I think that people often underestimate psychology as a real science because it's somehow like a humanities program as well, although it's extremely concerned and involved in like scientific processes as well, because we have chemistry lectures and chemistry lab in our first STEM, for example, because psychology is involved with science as well. But I think that people see it as something that shouldn't be taken seriously, because there's always been like stigma towards mental health and how it's all in your head and something that you're supposed to like just get without having a degree or whatever. That's just for me.
Yeah, but the part about the STEM stuff, I think that's more linked towards those who chose BS.
Yeah.
For the VA. For VA, they don't have that. I should have been in VA. Anyway, I digress. Psychology definitely isn't common sense. I mean, I've seen a lot of people spread misinformation about psychology in social media platforms. I swear I've seen it on Facebook and on TikTok and on Instagram, mostly on Instagram. They say, psychology says that if you're dreaming about this person, it means they have been thinking about you. Like, how does that work? That's not common sense. I mean, we don't have Bluetooth in our heads. I think it definitely is a very misunderstood
Yeah.
subject. Like, whenever they think of psychology, they think, oh, it's just how the mind works. And although that is,
Like the gist of it, but
it's not exactly just that.
Yeah.
It's much more complicated and much more complex than that. And they try to generalize everything. I think you made mention once that the masses who think of psychology as a common sense, they usually try to generalize every bit of theory. They try to...
They oversimplify it and like condense it into something that's like palatable to the masses, just so they're able to understand it. Although they barely understand it, they often they often project these misunderstandings in people who are actually undergoing like mental illness.
Yeah, like what works for me won't necessarily work for you. That's totally what she's trying to say.
Yeah. And I think that when people say that they're common sense, I more reasons that I don't believe it is that if, for example, you ask someone what emotions are, they're more likely gonna be like mentally blocked, because what are emotions, right? What are thinking? What are these things, and how exactly are you like properly able to like define them? And that's what psychology is. It focuses on how to define things that are often viewed as like just there, as is something that's you're just supposed to get.
Yeah, because it's definitely human nature to try to categorize things.
Yeah.
I think that wraps up the question. She definitely said a lot more than I did.
What are you guys thinking right now?
That is so stupid. I'm so sorry. That question itself, it links me, or I associate that to, the general notion of psychologists.
Why?
When you say that, oh, I'm studying psychology, the average person is gonna be like, oh, you do? What am I thinking right now?
Oh my god, yeah. They think that we're mind readers for some reason.
We're not psychics. Oh my god, we're not telepaths. We ain't Jean Grey.
As well as like the question that what am I thinking is so vague and so broad as well. Because people are often like get mentally blocked when something that gets asked to them isn't specified, because what exactly do you want me to say here?
Yeah.
Like what exactly are we supposed to be discussing about
in a way that
it'll be productive? Because if you just ask something that's vague like that, we won't be able to have a discussion that's actually like productive, that's actually gonna come to like a conclusion or like understanding or like a lesson or whatever.
That is why specificity... Is that even a word? I think it is a word. Specificity is a word. That is why specificity is important in communication. Because...
So I am Raiko Arken Liboon.
I'm Kimathea H. Tesoro.
And I am Ken Puertas. And this is the second segment of C Podcast. So to follow up on the last question from the first segment, why did we choose psychology? For me, psychology wasn't my first choice. As a ABM graduate, it was already in my brain to take on accountancy. But as I thought about it, especially when we were told to choose our preferred programs for college in MSU IIT, I thought about it and I can't see myself taking accountancy because I almost failed it, and it didn't call on to me like it did before. And I also didn't see other business related courses for me in such as HR, HRM. Yeah. And other and NTREP and other courses. I didn't see myself in it. And but I did learn that um psychology is it's a flexible and diverse course where you can go to different paths, education or as a psychologist or clinical forensic. But what caught what caught my eye was HR or business organization in the field of psychology. And I guess that's what really pulled me to choose psychology because I get to learn about people, I get to learn about myself, and I also get to help organize people and what suits them best in working or in businesses. So yeah.
So for me, it's a very convoluted story. Originally, I had been encouraged to be a doctor. Helping people was always an aspect of the job that had been instilled in me as being important. But being around blood made me very queasy, which eventually means that that job was out of the picture. I had a phase where I was very interested in writing. Obviously, I wanted to know what would make a character do certain actions they would take in the story. And this led me to wondering, why do people do what they do? What emotions encourage these actions? And what what process in their brains exactly make these emotions come up, or how does this influence them as a person? So this led me to discovering psychology, and obviously I was in certain areas of the internet which discuss these types of things, and I had encountered some very good influences on my life. They encouraged me to take psychology as a job, or as like a potential job, and which led me here.
So in my case, nobody saw me coming pursuing psychology. Kay when I was a kid, mag-excel lagi in mathematics. So, di ba, usually, ang mga tiguang kanada yung mga connotation nga, kay kanimayo mo math, mag-engineering ni pohon, mauginay kwaon, and related courses. Pero, there comes a time, I think that was on senior high school, that my passion for writing and public speaking sparked. And that's where kanang my main reason for pursuing psychology is rooted from. And they say when you pursue psychology, either you needed help or you want to help. So in my case, it was a combination and a balance of both. I needed help in a sense nga, there are certain instances and times nga, like ma-question ako nga, why am I, why do I feel this way? And why am I acting this way? So with my hopes would also to have a more comprehensive understanding on myself. Okay, I believe through understanding myself more, I get to understand people better. So that's where my passion also for helping other people spark as well. So it's very early. It's a big statement to say as first year psychology students na in the future want to help others, but still, that's one of the main goals of pursuing psychology, to help others to be, someday, to be a lending ears to those people who are suffering, who, finds their life with, who are, kanang faced with uncertainties in life. And pursuing psychology, I hope that I can be someone who can help other people to make them feel heard and remind them that they are not alone in this journey of theirs.
So marag na yung common notion that now we want to help people or like assist people in lives. But I also agree, no, na if we want to help people, we have to help ourselves first. Because unsa man nato kung mangilis, how are we going to help other people if
Can't help ourselves.
yeah, we can't help ourselves. So yeah, I agree. Next question.
But isn't psychology just common sense? It's not even real science, they say.
So I feel like this statement is basically such a bad faith take on psychology as a whole. I don't think this take stems from any malice or anything. I feel like it comes from a certain ignorance to the subject. Obviously, it might also be influenced by how mainstream media presents psychology as a whole. Uh, it's honestly just recently that we've seen any deep dives or any deep portrayals of psychology or any mental health topics in media, because usually we see it in sort of like a very straightforward aspect. So you're someone talks to a therapist, they talk for a while. Oh, a therapist recommends this thing. You're depressed. Oh, go exercise. You're depressed. Take some antidepressants, and then you're fixed. But obviously, it's so much more complex than that. And I feel like the it's sort of neglected by the media, which is in turn neglected by the audience that consumes that media, and then internalized in such a way that people don't really see it as a very deep topic or a deep subject. And I think that is where this certain belief comes from, that it's a very common sense subject.
I think also because psychology itself is like a new concept, especially in our conservative country. And I think also in a way that how what you said the media portray it. I think it's because that's how the media portray it, because it's how the masses can understand psychology itself, because it's so complex, and it's very a big concept. And I think, yeah, I also agree that it's based on ignorance that people can call psychology as a common sense, because it's not. It's very, even I myself as a psychology major, I'm having a hard time. It's not common sense. And I'm pretty sure even other psychology majors are having a hard time. So calling it as common sense undermines the essence of the course, the people, and what we are taught and experiencing from the course, because it's very complex. We have to start from the brain itself, and the brain is not common sense, because there's different parts of the brain. And the brain also releases hormones, so it's not very common. And I'm also how people, especially our what do we call this? Our ancestors. Mga older generations from us, especially how they were brought up, na if they're, especially ang mga lalaki, na dapat dili sila maghilak. Dapat men shouldn't cry, men shouldn't show emotions, because doing so will make them vulnerable, make them look vulnerable. And no, it's not easy. No, you can, emotions or what you're feeling is, it's not easy to just set it aside, to just bottle it up, because eventually the bottle will have a hard time containing all those emotions. It will of course burst. So psychology is not common sense, and people shouldn't take it as common sense. I would suggest that everyone would at least try to learn a little bit about psychology, because we need to be aware of our mental health, of our unconscious self, because it affects our conscious self. So it's not a common sense.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I strongly don't think that psychology is just a mere common sense. As you have said, it is a complex concept. So, yeah, psychology man good is a combination between physiological aspects and like our experiences. So, that itself, kung saan mo pag-integrate ang sa how our physical body interprets such stimulus and how we interpret it outside, like sa experiences nato, it's very complicated kay psychology manggod has many subfields and branches, and psychology is like a melting pot of those nga. Psychology tries to have a definitive answers between the subjective kanang thinking process and actions behaviors of people. And mind you that the thinking process and the way people act and behave differs from one person to another. So that itself is not common. There's no walay common nga the way maghuna-una sa ka person walay common in a way kani nga stimulus tanan tao in ani pag-interpret ana nga situation. So psychology is complicated and it's not just a mere common sense.
Like, a human person is not, it's not like mag-program ang ilahang head to have the same experiences, because everyone has different lives. And as psychologists, we have to take on those different lives. So it's not easy na, you could just do this, do that, take this, take that. No. It's not an easy, just, take bioflu or something. It's not like that. It's very complex. And, as psychology majors, it's like our duty to educate people, especially on topics like this, because murag, we continue the cycle beta of bottling up emotions. We continue the cycles of disregarding our mental needs, our mental health, ato ang self love. So murag, I wouldn't want to call those people who say psychology is common sense as dumb or stupid, but I would say that they need to be at least educated in the surface level, because, like you said, everyone is different. So every procedure, every needs is also different. So dili siya common. Sana uncommon.
Yes, and I definitely agree that by bottling your mental health up, you don't exactly deal with it. And I feel like when you don't deal with something, it becomes so much easier to simplify it into something you can understand.
Yeah.
And I also definitely agree that the human mind is not a monolith. There's so much variation in that area alone that it lends to so much variation in psychology. So we can't exactly do a one strategy fits all. So basically.
So yeah, I also think that connotation that psychology is just common sense kay diha, that is where mental health illnesses are rooted from. Kay
Yes.
people undermine the concept of psychology nga when sa grabe ka dominant na sa mga nagkataas ang cases of mental health illnesses, ginaingon nga normal raman na naga-feel man taan na. So that's kanang well, that is why it's very important to acknowledge the complexity of psychology and to kanang the mere essence of acknowledging it not as a mere common sense but as a concept.
Good. Like, especially karon ang sa news or sa statistics na mga older generations would say na kamo mga arte mo muna karon daghan na kay mga mental illness ug mga ingana. Yes, because mas gina understood naman good ang mental illness. That's why I would say it's an improvement on mental health itself, because we got to what's the word? We got to at least
Analyze it.
treat
it.
Yeah, we got to treat it. Like, there's nothing to be ashamed if like nakay something gina experience or something in your head, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's normal because the brain is complex. And the fact na inyohan nang nagseek mo help and nagseek mo og something to help with yourself, that's a step up. And at least it gives also importance na dili man na it's not a simple fix. It's complex. Yeah.
Hello mga kasitok! So we are now down to the last segment of this podcast. So as for this segment, we're gonna be answering some personal and emotional insights. So, shall we? As for our first question, so as for the first question, Do you guys believe in the right person, wrong time?
No.
No.
No, because I've never been a sort of romantic person. I feel like this sort of concept exists in just a myth. Because, if it is the wrong time, doesn't that, immediately mean that that is not the right person? And, like, thinking of this logically, if that sort of concept did exist, I don't think that the right person just, magically exists, if you know what I mean. I think that the right person is something you become by, like, growing alongside your partner and, essentially, gaining character development with your experiences with them.
I definitely don't agree with the concept of right person, wrong time, because if they are the right person, it wouldn't matter in which point of your life or what time you two met. They should be compatible with you nonetheless. Yeah, I think that's the gist of it, supposedly, of what I think. How about you, Norge?
My take on this is that I don't believe that they're not the right person, but rather it wasn't a wrong time. I think that they were the right person in that time of your life, insofar as they were able to serve a purpose in your life at that time. For example, they were able to make you feel deeply about love, or make you find out something about yourself, and to grow as a person. Like have a character development because of them. And I think that's why people think that they created this idea that there's a right person, wrong time, because they think that this purpose that this person have on your life includes staying, but that's not necessarily true. A person can have like a huge impact on you, and that doesn't mean that they have to stay. Yeah, that's just my take.
Yeah, there is.
How about you, Raito?
For me, I don't believe on sa to, right person, wrong time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would also agree on your statement na
It was the wrong time.
yeah, like murag people can leave big impressions on your life, and murag maka-imprint siya sa memories
Yeah.
bitaw. And I guess that's how they can last in within you. Not physically, but like mentally, or like sa imong memories, or maybe sa dreams. But
Yeah.
also, I don't want to believe that I have a set on soulmate, like
Yeah.
someone that I'm destined to meet. Now, I like na ko'y set on na kani siya ako ang uyab or something. No, I don't believe in that. I want, but I hope that for me man good, I want someone that I can develop with, because I don't want na maybe bitaw na murag as a person na delight me nagdaan murag weird like na.
Kumbaga, like it's organic and
Yeah.
not based on fate alone.
Yeah.
I would also like to argue that the right person, wrong time, or right person and right time, that type of concept, it's literally up for the convenience of those who are relying on fate alone.
Yeah.
So I feel like this sort of concept gives way to sort of not exactly shallow sort of love, but a very base level sort of love, if you know what I mean. And if you believe this person is the right person for you, you sort of tend to ignore all their flaws. And
Yeah.
I feel like with that mentality, there's no room for improvement.
Kasi
Yeah.
parang you think that they're absolute, that
Yeah.
they're simply they're supposed to be this and that. Wherein love should be rooted in growth and development for the
Yes.
both of you.
Yeah, you are taking them as they are, but as
Just
they
because you
currently
think
are.
they're the right person for you. So how about you, Katie?
Cause at first.
As for me, yes.
Ala.
I do believe.
Okay.
I mean, like, for me, manggod, parang anyone could be the right person for you. Pero at that given time sa mong life. It's strange lang. It's sakit po siya at the same time. Kaya naka-experience before, like, last year, I have this experience with a guy, and then I didn't know na he wasn't mine. He wasn't fully mine to begin with. Pero crazy lang kayo manggod kaya. He was the first guy to ever made me feel understood, seen, and felt. So parang when I found out na I was the other girl bitaw. Kaya, I don't know, at first kay murag wala ko reaction actually. Like, wala pa kayo nakulang pain. Like, I was processing it pa. And then,
around 5 p.m. na ata, nakano na po 5 a.m. Okay, tulog na jud as in, kay dito na nagto. Tapos siya nag-end, kay dili man niya kaya mag-gilar that much. Tapos, matulit ng scroll lang po, and then I discovered, yak out sa girl, kaya like, gawas lang siya sa mga F40 bitaw. And then something, I don't know, pero like, something snappy ka nag-express ako na like, check the comment section. Kaya like, nakita sa ko nga mutual sila. So, upon chatting, there he was, claiming the girl, and then,
I found out na sila di ay. So, I was like, the whole time we were talking, we were communicating, he already has someone na. So, sakit siya, pero for me, that experience was remarkable. Like, that was something that I would never forget. Because for me, that was worth remembering it. Because it felt real. And I don't want to forget that. Due to that experience, tagan kong discovery sa akong self. And I learned a lot. So yes, I believed in the right person wrong time. At that time, he was the right person for me. Though, wrong time because, yun nga, dili pwede.
So like, compatible mo, pero unfortunately, si guy, occupied mo siya.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so crazy lang, no? Kay, during that whole time, I never felt good ay nga I was the other girl.
Men are evil.
Conclusion, men are trash.
Men are performative.
Wait.
What? Do you disagree?
So as for the next question, would you guys choose peace over passion or passion over peace?
I don't know. That seems... I don't think passion over peace, can it be like, it's not something that is mutually exclusive. You can pursue your passion and then find peace.
Like if you had to choose, like if you had to give up one
only
thing.
one.
I think I would give up my passion.
For peace.
Because I definitely prefer peace.
Same.
I would very much like peace in my life right now. I mean, passion, when you use all of it up, you feel burnt out. Like for peace, you can never be burnt out of peace. You can't get sick of peace. Like maybe you'd like some form of spontaneity, like you mentioned before. But like, at the end, I would always crawl back to, I would always crawl back to peace. So I guess my stance on that would be me choosing peace.
Okay.
I too would also choose peace because, who would rather, I mean, yeah, you can have passion, but if you're not in peace, how will that passion thrive when you're at a state where you're having a hard time?
So, for me, this question is very difficult. As someone who enjoys creating art, obviously passion is such a big thing that encompasses that sort of area. You can't exactly make art without having a passion for it. But also, I want to choose peace because, I mentioned before that I do not like spontaneity. I'm someone who very much prefers to stay into their shell. Life is always like, I prefer having a balance, and any imbalance towards that, any like sort of any suddenness to it, it leaves me feeling very shaken up. So I would prefer having peace rather than passion.
I have a contrasting point of view. So whereas that I think that passion is something that is a part of yourself. It's essentially something that gives life meaning, and I wouldn't give that up over a state of feeling like peace, for example, because I think that losing passion means losing yourself and losing the, like, for example, will to like find like what makes life meaningful and find things to like enjoy, because passion is essentially at its core is like the fuel that keeps you to pushing forward and keeps you to like finding good things out of any like in the face of adversity, for example, because you're able to use that passion to to essentially not be static and not be stagnant in life. And that's just my point of view.
Yeah, so she's basically calling us basic.
As for me naman, if sa una siguro, the younger me would definitely choose passion over peace. But as the Jai that I am now, I would go for peace over passion. Because in contrast with Norge, I believe I think dili maglast imong passion without peace holding it together. So yes, and definitely I would choose the kind of love that would not confuse me, that would not let me ask questions. I want peace na. But PP.
Yeah, I would like to argue if you chose your passion, wouldn't that in a way give you your peace? Because if you spend your life choosing peace, if you spend your life trying to set aside your passion, I think that would haunt you forever, and I think your state of peace would be questionable or unstable in a sense that there's this type of thing that's empty. There's this emptiness inside of you, right?
Yeah.
So we're not that basic after all.
The question basically says that you have to choose an isolated peace without passion and isolated passion without peace. So if you say that there's still peace, there's still like passion when you choose peace, then that's contrasting. Because then you're not totally giving up passion. You're just saying that it will come along the way, and that's not what the question asks.
Yeah, I think the question is flawed. Because it makes it seem as though peace and passion are mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
They are not. Yeah, they are not. Subscribe.
What about you, Kiki?
Yeah, I agree with you. Na at some point in life, we find peace in doing our passion. So I really think that by doing our passion, it gives us some sort of fulfillment that fuels our body. That fuels our soul to, keep doing it, keep pursuing our passion. Kay, for me, good peace is, siguro, I think
Peace is
when
very
you are,
subjective.
Oh, yeah,
It depends on
yeah.
what you define as a state of calmness and peace.
Yeah, very good.
You know who we should be blaming? The question. Just kidding.
So,
But at least we got to express our ideas. So yeah.
as for the next
The
question.
concept.
Ooh. Damn. So, if the cost of healing was losing the lessons your wounds taught, would you still want to be healed?
No,
No.
absolutely.
No.
Because this feels like a setup for a sort of cycle, right?
Yes.
Your wounds are
You're
what
doomed to repeat.
yeah, you're doomed to repeat your wounds. Like have you heard of Ouroboros, like the story of it? You're basically like losing your wounds and gaining the same wounds over and over again because you haven't learned from them if you're erasing the lessons you've learned. So I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's like you're perpetuating that cycle.
I feel like you could still learn to heal without losing the pain of that experience, for example, because healing for me isn't like removing the pain, but learning how to live with that kind of pain. And so far as if you lose the wisdom that you got from that experience, then like what Kim said, you're doomed to repeat what you've done. And like, what's the point then if you keep repeating the same mistakes that you've been committing because you haven't learned anything from it?
Yeah, I think that definitely enforces the idea that failures are only failures if you don't learn anything from them.
Yeah.
If you learn from them, then they aren't completely in vain.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be the way as we are now without those pain, those experiences.
Basically, these wounds that we talk of, basically shape us to who we are. And like, losing them would mean that we've lost something that essentially, molded us to become who we are.
And I think, but we don't really totally heal from all the things that scars us. We just learn to live with it, to live with the scars.
I feel like if you were to remove these experiences from yourself, would you even really be yourself anymore? That would basically be an entirely different person who hasn't experienced what you've experienced.
It's like an
It
erasure.
basically acts like a band-aid solution. It doesn't acknowledge other things in that experience, for example. Okay.
I think it's like an erasure
Yeah,
of
yeah.
who you are. It's like
Subconscious.
erasing your potentiality,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
One.
This is so profound.
What part of your younger self are you most proud to have healed from?
Me, kay, when I was like, during the pandemic, when I was in grade 7, I was very extroverted. Like, I was very outgoing, like literal na social butterfly talaga. But because of the pandemic, I ended up isolating myself and like developing social anxiety. Like, the thought of going out gave me anxiety attacks during the pandemic. And, well, somebody siya.
Comforting.
And during grade 10, the fact that it had to be face to face really pushed me to like socialize with my peers and my classmates, and that really helped me heal from my social anxiety. Although I do think that I didn't fully heal from it. I think that it's still in the back of my head. I think that it won't ever live. But what's good now is that I'm able to handle them properly. I'm able to like push forward despite having despite it having holding me back slightly. And that, parang, yeah, yun lang. Yeah.
What about you, More?
What was the question again?
What
question,
part of
Benny?
your younger
Wait.
self
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah,
you
this
most
one.
healed about?
If the cost of healing was losing,
Dili
oh
ka
no,
na.
this was already answered.
Wait,
What part of your younger self that you're proud that you healed?
Mine is very stupid. Ano lang. I guess what I'm proud of is when I was learning how to ride a bike, because I was so scared of falling or tripping, and then after getting my legs scraped or my knees scraped after I fell down from trying to ride a bike. I guess it helped me see riding a bike as nothing scary, but like as a fun thing. And the scrape was not permanent. It was only at one point. So yeah, that's it's very not really big.
So, yeah, to reiterate the question, what part of your younger self are you most proud to have healed from? So, when I was in elementary, I think it was during 2nd grade, I was like super shy.
Super shy.
R.I.P. Eugene's. Anyways, I was like super shy and I had like really bad anxiety. And like,
Anxiety rules.
I hate anxiety. Oh my god. I love orange though. Anyway, yeah, so I was like, I wasn't very outgoing and I was like shy. Yeah. I was afraid of people, I don't know why. It's not like I have agoraphobia or anything. But like, I was like super afraid of people because, oh my god, what if they're gonna judge me? And it didn't help the fact that the society is like super freaking homophobic.
Spotlight effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that. Like, back in 2014, I think, or 2013, my god, if you were a gay kid,
Pause up more.
During
Wait
it-
lang, pause ka, pause. Close, close.
Yeah, nag-recording.
Okay.
yeah, like if you were like a gay kid in elementary, you would be bound to be bullied. And like, at that point, I was like super scarred. But then again, when I was moved up to the first section, by the way, in 2nd grade, I was like in last section. That did not help with my status at all. But like, I gained some sort of confidence when I was like boosted up. I was promoted to the first section. I was like, wow, I have some sort of immunity. And like, I kind of gained some form of, I gained some form of confidence from that. And now I literally cannot shut up. Like, yeah, like, I'm like, screw anxiety, YOLO, you only live
Yeah,
once.
YOLO.
Carlos YOLO. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the gist of it, I healed from being super shy. And yeah, right now I'm so outgoing, I literally cannot shut up.
What about you, Kim?
Don't
Wait
go
lang, pause
ball.
up, pause up, pause up.
Ako na lang ta, okay ah.
Yo.
Wait lang.
So as for mine naman,
Wait, ayos.
I think we're shallow siya para sa uban. Pero for me, kay, it's something na I'm so proud lang. Kay, before manggod, like, whenever I want something sa una, dili gid nako gina-voice out. Like, gina-keep lang nako siya sa akong self unless it was offered to me na or unless I was asked by it. So, ako lang siyang ginakim-kim. And then, even if I wanted that toy badly, I wouldn't say so. Karon kay, parang I learned to speak up na. Not just in wanting and getting material stuff, ha. I learned to speak up na po, even if speaking up means conflict in return.
From if you wouldn't feel comforted, but at least
At least I,
You're able to verbalize your wants.
Uh-huh.
I think that's very powerful.
yes, change doesn't come with comfort.
Yeah, we're holding space for that.
So,
Katie, I Kate.
for me, I feel like I've grown from essentially being like not being my own person, basically. Since I was like very little, I had been labeled as the smart kid. I don't know where that intelligence went. So, but I've been labeled as the smart kid, basically. So that's how people viewed me as. That's what people thought of when they interacted with me. And it put like so much pressure on me that I essentially internalized it and like I turned it into my entire personality, basically. I basically stopped hanging out with my friends to like read a book so that I could get the approval of the adults around me, basically. And anytime I acted like immature or did something a child would do, it felt like I was being judged more than the other kids. So, like, more internalization, essentially. And when I reached high school, that didn't exactly stop. That need for approval extended to my friend group, basically. I'm not, I'm not very proud to admit this, but did not like other girls' face because my friend group consisted of boys. I basically detested the color pink. I hated the feeling of makeup on my face, anything that had to do with like taking care of your hair or essentially being girly. It felt like, I hated doing it, not because of anything not because of me, but because of how other people would view me as. So it didn't start until the pandemic. I was basically like the opposite of you. It basically gave me a chance to like introspect on myself and like, because I realized that most of my personality is like a conglomeration of, how other people viewed me. And that isolation helped me to basically start over and build myself up from what I am.
Yeah.
That's
So what you feel is totally you and not like a mosaic of what you think people and what people think you should be.
Yeah, and like apparently it was such a big change because I started to like paint my nails after the pandemic, and like most of my friend group recognized, "Who are you? What did you do with the real Kim?" And it's like it was like more of a shock to them, really. So that gave me time to introspect. Yeah.
I feel like that's so damaging, you know, when people have like a certain standard for you.
Yeah.
All of us are like kids. We were all kids at some point.
Yeah, I think it's really common in like the Filipino families where they put like the gifted kids in the higher standards so that they would like be pushed to be stagnant in terms of like their like intelligence or like their talent. And so far that like encouragement is actually very harming and very damaging for the child because they feel like they're not given room for mistakes and that they essentially can't grow.
Right. It's like they're not allowed to act their age.
Yeah.
It's also like very damaging because childhood is supposed to be the time in our life where we're supposed to grow and discover ourselves, and I was basically putting myself in a box and essentially stunting my growth. So
childhood is supposed to be filled with like mundane things, things that don't necessarily have to matter. Like, for example, talking to your dolls or whatever, and insofar as that necessarily like something important for the adults is something that allows you to feel like you're a child and not bottle it up and internalize it when you're already grown. Yeah.
KP.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what Kim shared, I can totally relate to that. Okay. As a child, yeah, nalagay mga labeling as intellectual human being. As an intelligent child daw. Okay. Ito mga when I was elementary, like, uso man like mga competitions, inter-school competition, mga math star awards, science star awards, and then I think that was in 5th grade. Nga, for the first time, wala ko na first, so I was ranked 3rd. That was in star, ano? Math star competition. So, basta something math nga competition. So, I ranked 3rd in the district level. And then, like, nagpilak yung go, like, in front of the crowd, like, pag-announce ito kay, makita naman ang scoreboard. So, itong hila ko. Tapos, mo ito, nag-comfort ko sa mga tao. And then, when I got back home, like, wala siya kung move on. Like, niilag siya mo ko kay imagine, first, and kalito ka 3rd. Kung murabi tawag, na realization nga, like, when I was a kid, man good, I've always had this notion in mind na, if not for my intelligence, what am I? Like, if dili bitaw ko utukan nga bata, would people still like me? Would I still have my friends around me? Would I still be me? So, mo to nga like, pero growing up now, I begin to learn that education, man good, is not a place for proving yourself, but education is a place for knowing yourself. Kung education teaches us learning, and through learning, it allows us to understand ourselves better. Kay, through understanding various concepts, it allows us to understand ourselves. So yeah, that's something I'm proud of to do.
I can totally relate to that because back in elementary, I was like one of the guinea pigs when it came to competitions because I was like the smartest or anything.
Wow.
But like they liked my speaking voice, they liked how I spoke because, we have this notion in the Philippines where if you speak English very fluently, or like if you're like an American or like you're a native speaker, they will automatically attribute this to your intelligence, which is very wrong. But like, yeah, that was like the ideology that prospered in my elementary school. So they would send me out to competitions, and I won most of them. Some I ranked 3rd or 2nd, but yeah, I went to nationals once. But like, thanks. But like after that, like when I reached high school, I stopped competing because it felt very taxing to me, and I think this isn't what education should be about. Like, this is more on extracurriculars. Like, I don't need this, and I definitely don't need the validation of these teachers who will probably be dead after 50 years. But yeah, that's just a bit like, why do I care? Why should I care?
Yeah.
Like, they'd be like, oh, sayang kaayo, wala na kay apil-apil, you should be competing again. No. Like, I choose peace this time because like, there was this grading system back then wherein 40% of your grade would be from your extracurriculars. And like, that was like a huge chunk. So I would always get like a really good grade. I was like top 4 of my school. And like after high school, I was like, wow, I can't even cross multiply. And that was like super humbling because I was always, I had this notion of myself that, I could definitely do anything except for math, of course, but like, right. Yeah. So basically that, I chose education over people's validation.
And I feel like that's a very hard thing to do because when your like aim is to like achieve validation via education, that again, that basically like is like a pillar of your identity that like holds up a lot of it, right? And I feel like when you like remove that, there's a chance that you just like feel lost, like there's a loss of your identity. Because like was it KP that mentioned it earlier, that what am I if I'm not my grades, basically? Yeah, I feel like I can relate to that a lot.
Yeah, it's such a damaging thought, right? Like when you have linked your identity to winning medals and everything, to being an achiever, and then one day you just get slapped by reality and like, wow, I'm not that good. I can't speak for the two of you, but like, wow, I'm actually not that good. And like, I'm only good at English. Aside from that, I'm like really crap about the other subjects.
I think, I think the reason that this is like, this is rampant in Filipino society because our family essentially see us as extensions of themselves. And then like seeing us, seeing their children or like their nieces or whatever achieve these things, they feel like they've also accomplished themselves. So parang they see their children as like tools to satisfy their ego or whatever. And like, that's very damaging.
This is basically collectivism in action. Like an Eastern thought, right? Wherein you would not exist for yourself. You would be existing in the context of others, your community,
Your
your
achievements
society.
are the achievements of your community.
You're not your own person. Like, you can't be an individual anymore. So yeah, I think that really boils down to my experience. I hate Southeast Asia so much.
That's racism, bro.
Then get out.
Go back to your country.
Go back to my country. I'm from the Philippines. But yeah, I hate Southeast Asia. Yeah. So don't forget to smile.
I think that concludes the essence of this podcast. We hope that you feel seen. We were able to give you visibility in your experiences and that we were able to learn from us. Tyra? Yeah.
Yep, so that would be all Kasi Talks. Bye!
Bye. Support Palestine. Don't forget to smile.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do.